A reliable Apple analyst, Ming-Chi Kuo, and Bloomberg's Mark Gurman have hinted that Apple might soon release a new Apple HomePod similar to the original one discontinued in 2021, mainly due to its high price. How different will this be from the original HomePod? Let's discuss the new Apple HomePod 2, everything so far. HomePod 2. In a recent post, Ming-Chi Kuo stated that Apple would release a new version of HomePod in 4Q22, 1Q23, and there may not be much innovation in hardware design. According to Apple Insider, he is a reliable Apple analyst with decades of experience reporting on Apple with data from the supply chain. Another trusted source, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, also has speculated on a possible release of a new Apple HomePod 2. In his recent newsletter, Gurman stated that the upcoming HomePod is likely to have the same S8 chip. This new HomePod will seek to replace the original HomePod that was taken off the market in March 2021 with some new features. There's even a hint that the HomePod 2 might have new multi-touch functionality. You don't want to miss knowing the new features that come with Apple's HomePod 2. Stick and stay with us. We will soon talk about that. Design. There's not been any official hint from Apple concerning the design of the new Apple HomePod 2022. We can only rely on the gist from some experts. Mark Gurman writes that the new HomePod might be closer to the original HomePod in size and audio performance rather than a new HomePod mini. Ming-Chi Kuo also believes there might not be any hardware design changes. This could be true because just ended Apple's WWDC 2022 focused on making hardware changes on the M2 chip, a revised version of the MacBook Air, and an update to the MacBook Pro 13-inch, rather than a new design of a possible HomePod. If there could be any remodeling, Apple would probably combine the oval shape of the HomePod mini with the form of the original HomePod to create a unique profile for the HomePod 2. We're sure you'll want to know more about the upcoming HomePod 2. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any news about the device. You can rely on us for first-hand information about all Apple products. Price. Considering that price was one of the reasons why the original HomePod failed to meet its target, the cost of the HomePod 2 might be less costly. The original HomePod was priced at $349, although it was later reduced to $299 due to various criticisms. We expect Apple's HomePod 2 not to cost more than the $349 price tag of the original HomePod, and not less than the $99 price of the HomePod mini. However, if Apple plans to maintain the $349 price, then the downsides of the original HomePod need to be addressed. We will soon talk about how we suggest the HomePod 2 can be improved. Stay tuned! New features. The headlining feature of the new Apple HomePod 2 is having a possible screen and camera. In a 2021 post by Mark Gurman, he hinted at Apple's plan to produce a new hybrid HomePod with Apple TV, a FaceTime camera, and a HomePod speaker with a touchscreen. It is clear Apple is trying to pair the new HomePod with a touchscreen and a camera so it could compete with some leading products, such as the Amazon Echo Show, which comes with a screen. An addition of a camera will be a significant upgrade. For example, this added camera will allow users to even FaceTime friends and families. It could also recognize hand gestures using a depth sensing feature that can be used to control the device. This new HomePod touchscreen would allow users to skip tracks, select music, playback tracks, etc., and reduce the over-dependence on Siri for these functions. Again, Mark Gurman tips on Apple's new HomePod 2 having more powerful processor. The new speaker will likely have the same S8 chip as the upcoming Apple Watch 8, Apple Watch Pro, and Apple Watch SE Watch, unlike the original HomePod that used the A8 processor. Lastly, the HomePod 2 might have a temperature detecting feature. The current HomePod mini has an inbuilt temperature sensor that measures temperature and humidity. Depending on the room's temperature, this feature can be used to turn on or off a fan. However, it is currently dormant in the HomePod mini. Apple will likely incorporate a working temperature detecting feature into the new HomePod 2. Release date. There have been conflicting reports about a possible release date of the HomePod 2. According to Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple might release a new version of HomePod in Q4 2022, 1Q23, which means that the HomePod 2 might be released at the upcoming Apple October event focused on new iPad models. Before the discontinuation of the original HomePod, Mark Gurman reported that Apple was planning on an updated version of the original HomePod that might be released in 2022. However, in a recent post, he hints that the new HomePod might be released in late 2023 or even 2024. Do you think we might see the device anytime soon? Let us know what you think about this in the comment section. Improvements. The new features of the HomePod 2 are worth commending. However, for the device to be perfect and able to compete with other leading speakers, some improvements must be made. First, HomePod 2 must allow users to access full track controls on Spotify when using Siri voice command. Just like Pandora, we also expect to see Spotify accessing some features of the HomePod that allow users to smart share music between their iPhone and HomePod devices. In a HomePod mini review, a popular YouTuber, Marques Brownlee, further explains.
There is also Pandora support for all these features as well, so if you use Pandora for your music or podcasts, you can do all this beaming and all this stuff as well, but there seems to be a little bit more of a delay, like a 1.5 second delay if you're using Pandora. But it works. So natural question, because we didn't see it at launch, what about Spotify? Of course, I use Spotify for all my music. And the answer is apparently it's potentially coming soon, and it's up to Spotify.
Connectivity has to be improved as well. We're expecting a HomePod 2 that can be paired with other non-Apple devices using Bluetooth. There were instances of overheating issues in the original HomePod. This is also likely to be resolved in the HomePod 2. To set up a HomePod or HomePod mini, you'll need an iOS device. We hope Apple will allow users to set up the new HomePod 2 with other devices aside from iOS devices. Talking about the new features of the HomePod 2, you might want to know about the best versatile iPad Air, Apple iPad Air 5 breakthrough new features. Click on the link to watch it. See you next time.